You've promoted issues such as voter ID that really have no chance of passing without Republican control in Madison. Now that you have the majority in Madison and you have a Republican government, why would you walk away from the opportunity to actually advance your agenda statewide for the Milwaukee County Executive?
I think that what I can do is to bring the most value is to help Milwaukee County move forward. I talked a lot about my concern about economic development and jobs. Those are the things that I really care about. I think the future of Wisconsin hinges upon a strong economy here in Milwaukee. And I want to take all the experience that I have and relationships that I've built, whether it is a local official in Greenfield working with other communities, or being in the legislature and having the relationships I do with the people that now run the legislature and sit in the governor's chair, and put those things to work to make this economy in Milwaukee become a part of what's going on with our state. You're seeing a tone set in Madison right now. Just as recently as yesterday, we passed legislation that changes the court environment, that makes our area more attractive for business. We created incentives for job creation, tax exemptions. We created exemptions on health savings accounts to spur people to go into small business and create health care. I want those ideas being carried out here and creating an economy that's sustainable, because I want people to have a Milwaukee where they can have the kind of future that I had when I came here and created a business and built a home and a life with my family.
Holloway, in a recent Fox 6 interview about the issues concerning the condition of your rental properties in Milwaukee, you said it's difficult to keep up your properties. Quote, when you have the kind of clientele that I have, which are poor, there are tens of thousands of poor people in Milwaukee County. How can you expect them to believe that you'll be sensitive to their issues when you're publicly blaming them for being the problem?
I'm not blaming them. My properties have been hit by the economy 8 years ago. I have a number of people who are unemployed, not able to pay their rent, or not able to pay their rent at all. I'm sure that you're aware that within the central city, that age between 18 and 35 years old, there is 50% unemployment. That plays a very significant role in Milwaukee County, the central city, period. The same thing in Milwaukee County. Milwaukee County has had problems too. We have fixtures off the buildings fall, not being able to keep up with the parks, repairs, and whatever. It's the same kind of thing. It's the same thing in the state of Wisconsin. The state of Wisconsin have disrepaired roads, other facilities not being kept up. It's $1 billion budget. We're all in this together. So just to pick on me in reference to me also have the same kind of problem that everybody else is having, I'm in this. We have 10,000 foreclosures in Milwaukee County. Many of the apartments near me are boarded up. And I have 94% occupancy rate. So people are not shying away from my property. The code violations are primarily storm windows, which we take and provide plastic, which is better than storm windows. And it has to do with a tuck pointer, which is all complete. Within the households is fine. So that's my concern and how I'm responding to it, is that Milwaukee County has problems. The city of Milwaukee has problems. Have you rode on the roads? Have you seen the roads? Have you been participating in the fees? Have you seen the state of Wisconsin with their problems?
We all got the questions to me.
We all got the problems.
There are problems, but people are looking for the leadership to solve those problems. What you're saying is you have to be able to solve those problems.
I'm saying that I have to resolve these problems. We are working on resolving the problem. Just like the county is working on resolving the problem, just like the state is in trying to resolve the problem. What is Scott Walker doing? He's trying to solve the problem. Everybody's trying to solve the problem. We're all in this together.
Chris Abele, since you came to Milwaukee, what, about 2 decades ago now, you have shared generously your good fortune, much geared toward the arts. However, Milwaukee, as you know, has a massive population with little or no fortune and little or no hope of getting a fortune. And honestly, musicals and masterpieces aren't exactly on their list of wants and to-dos. What have you done, or what do you intend to do to demonstrate that you can connect with people who have a very different world than the fortunate world you have been exposed to?
absolutely privileged. I've never been unfair about that, to have a dad who grew up in a blue-collar suburb of Boston, worked very, very hard, had a lot of success, and created access to an awful lot of resources. What I'm grateful for, though, is the fact that what's really impressive is he did it without a dad to be around to guide him. His father was a Navy sub-commander who died in World War II, giving his life to save others. I know what a Navy Cross looks like because I've seen one. And the reason I mention that is that informs the way my dad thinks about what's important in life. And every single day of my life growing up, I heard the most important thing anyone can do is to give back and to serve publicly. That said, I realize that the arts is probably the more visible part of what I do. The best board experience I have ever had in my life is the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee. I had the great privilege of chairing that board for 3 years. About 10 years ago, a good friend of mine, Marty Stein, and I, we raised $59 million for an endowment, which at the time, and I don't know if this has since been passed, but was the single biggest endowment campaign of any social service group in the country. We didn't do it to set a record. We did it because there's 33,000 kids in Milwaukee who generally don't have parents, don't have adults in their lives who encourage what they do. It's not about handing out, it's about empowerment, and that's about the most rewarding thing I've been lucky enough to do. So, do I relate? Yes.
Ieshuh Griffin, during your run for the Assembly, you had a much publicized slogan, "Not the White Man's Bitch." Now that you're running for Milwaukee County Executive, how do you intend to convince Milwaukee County voters that you can govern the county's diverse population with such a divisive sentiment?
Well, I think that all of us are is at least as smart as a fifth grader, and I did define what my statement meant. I also apologize to those who took it out of context, if it got quote unquote lost in translation. It was a federal law called the Fairness Doctrine that the media, which was rescinded under the Reagan administration, when there were controversial issues, we were supposed to give the person with the focus of the controversy ample time to explain it. Well, I don't control the media. The media doesn't show me talking to the Government Accountability Board and explaining what my statement meant. My statement came from perspectives of being subjected to a number of different injustices, and when I stated that, I didn't just state that, I gave them the dictionary definition. If you look at the United States Supreme Court, if we are a country of laws and not of men, the United States Supreme Court in 1967 said Caucasian and white does not mean the same thing, does not have synonymous meaning. The dictionary itself has a term called white man's burden, specifically talking about African Americans. It also has a term saying white man together as a power structure, an entity. So I was an independent. As an independent, I was told that I could not be on a ballot without a statement of principle. My statement of principle was towards the other candidates, except myself. And I said, not the white man's bitch. Not means under no circumstances. The is a distributive force. White man was going into the context of the power structure, the entity, as defined by law, has been stated under different musicals. Michael Jackson, The Man, Tupac Shakur, the white man talking about the entity, the corporation. The bitch is the dog that rolls over, forced to breed when told to. I specifically stated this and showed the context and definition of each word. It was never ever geared towards a racial entity. If I'm a victim of oppression and discrimination, it wouldn't be right or logical that I would further oppress or discriminate against others. So again, I repeatedly apologize to those who took it out of context, thinking I was making a racial slur, which I didn't. And I also said the fact my last name is Griffin. I do have British and Indian ancestry within me. So if you saying that I'm making a statement based off of skin color, you don't even know what my blood lineage is myself. So again, it was not a racial term. I only made that statement on my campaign papers. I wasn't going around telling everybody I'm not the white man's bitch, vote for me. I wasn't actually pointing toward the race, and the results of that election showed that I received 3 times as many votes in suburban areas as I did in the Milwaukee wards. So I believe those in the suburban areas understood very well what I meant.
Very good. And finally, Jim Sullivan, you lost your re-election bid to leave Workinger. Would you be running for this position if you had won? And I sort of a two-part question. I said yes or no. And given that you lost your election, is your agenda, your message, fundamentally different now in any way that it was in the fall of the summer when you were running for the election?
But to be clear, I had no intention in the last year or 5 years ago of running for Milwaukee County Executive. It would have been my preference that Tom Barrett would be governor of the state of Wisconsin, and frankly that Scott Walker would be where he was before and would be in a position where he would have to answer for what I regard to be 8 years of decay and neglect in Milwaukee County government. I'm running because I perceive that there is a very serious problem that confronts us. I think that, at least in terms of my own belief in public service, that when you have some leadership in order to be able that you can offer to your community, if you care about the basic functions that we depend on in Milwaukee County, you're not willing to leave this either to a dismantling of that system or a continuation of what I consider to be very negative policies under Scott Walker, then I think it's important to step up to the plate. I think that is what public service is all about, and I am not willing to stand by and simply allow a county that I have grown up in to continue to decay. I think that 2010 was that election. This is not about the 2010 election. This is about the serious challenges that we face in Milwaukee County, and it's about getting Milwaukee County working again, and that's why I'm in the race.
Thank you. We're going to go back to Steve Jagler. We'll ask the questions to be brief and the responses to be brief. Try to make the most of the last 20.
The parking freeway in the heart of downtown Milwaukee was torn down 6 years ago, but no development